Hello everyone, welcome back to Foot Forecast. In today's video, I'm going to be going through my top 10 championship strikers, and this is going to be weighted 80% based off the season and then 20% based off who I actually think is the better player overall. So if I get into a bit of a tiebreaker, that's how it's going to be decided. And two players that have just missed out from this list is, first of all, Ivanovic, a real young talent who's been really good for Millwall. He was excellent last season, but I've just preferred other players ahead of him. And that's the same for QPR's Richard Kone, a player I really rate highly in Kone. And he had a really good season last year at Wycombe, and he's still been good for QPR, I would say, but he's not been at his absolute best, so I haven't put him in. But he's another player I could see playing in a top division at some point. So anyway, let's get into this list, and I'm starting off with Burrell at QPR, which is Richard Kone's teammate, and those two together have been excellent for QPR so far this season. And I actually would say without Richard Kone, Burrell wouldn't have had such a good season, but I have gone with Burrell ahead of Kone. I think he's been really good. He's had 10 goals and 3 assists so far this season in 26 games, a very good return, and a player that's sort of broken out this season in the Championship. This was his first Championship appearances that he's made, and he's been good so far this season. Let me know, QPR fans, who would have you preferred to have, Burrell or Kone? Then we're on to number 9, which is Makama at Norwich. He's filled in for Josh Sargent really well when Josh Sargent basically went on strike and refused to play for the club. And he scored 10 goals in 28 games for Norwich this season. Another player with his first season in the Championship and playing well. And he's averaging a goal every 2 games, so a really good return from Akama, and he's been very good for Norwich. I think he deserves to be in number 9. So then we're on to number 8, and it's Geldhart at Hull City. Geldhart has scored 11 goals in 27 games and had 4 assists. A great return from him so far this season. He's had an excellent year, and he's averaged a goal every 2 games. And he actually plays a lot of the time slightly in behind the striker in McBurney. So to have that sort of return is really impressive, and he's been crucial for Hull City this season. A reason why they're currently 5th place in the Championship. I definitely think he deserves to be in this. As well as this, he's also got a good reputation going into this season, previously playing in the Premier League with the likes of Leeds United, but I think this is more his level at Hull City in the Championship. Number 7, we've got one of my favourite strikers in the Championship, and that is Carlton Morris. The reason why he's quite low down is because of injuries this season. Carlton Morris has suffered quite a few injuries this season, which has meant that he's only played 20 games, but in those 20 games, he's scored 10 goals, and I really like Morris as a player. He had a really good season a couple of years ago at Luton in the Premier League, scoring 11 goals and assisting 4 times. So that's definitely come into account in terms of this ranking, in terms of that 20% that I took into account in terms of the player in previous seasons or the quality of the player. And he offers just a real threat up front. He's probably one of the only strikers in this list that I would say would have a decent chance of playing well in the Premier League because he's previously done it. So that's definitely going to go into account. If he'd played more games this season, I could definitely see him being at least in top 5, potentially top 3. Then we've got his teammate, and that is Patrick Agyemang, another one of my actual favourite strikers in the Championship. I really like Agyemang, and he's had a great season at Derby County, breaking through at Derby County as well. He's previously only played in the MLS. This season he's had 10 goals and 3 assists in 31 games. He offers pace and power in behind. I really like Agyemang, and he really suits that Derby system in terms of a player that's very good on the break and very effective, and he offers more than just goals and assists, which is important in this. So then at number 5, I've got Patrick Bamford at Sheffield United. And people may say this is a bit high because he's only played 18 games so far this season. He's had a good return with 8 goals, and he's actually started 12 of those games, only playing 987 minutes. And people may say this is a bit high for Bamford considering the lack of minutes. But I think we've seen the quality in those limited minutes for Sheffield United, that he's definitely a championship quality striker. And I was doubting this when he was at Leeds United, but he's proving people wrong, and he just offers so much up front. He's a very good player, is Patrick Bamford, for this level, and I think he deserves to be in 5th place for this ranking. I would understand if you would drop him down a couple of places, maybe you bring someone like a Carlton Morris or an edgy man in front of him based off this season. So then at number 4, I've got Kiefer Moore, just a classic championship striker, and he's been a very good championship striker over the years. This season, no different for Wrexham. 11 goals and 3 assists for Kiefer Moore so far this season. Just an absolute target man and nuisance up front for defenders, and defenders must just hate playing against Kiefer Moore. He's very good at what he does in terms of that physicality, that aerial threat, and he suits that Parkinson's system really well. I really like Kiefer Moore. In 3rd place, I've got Haji Wright at Coventry. Once again, Haji Wright's had a very good year. 15 goals in 31 games for Haji Wright and 1 assist, and he's come up big in some big games. For example, the Middlesbrough game, scoring a hat-trick. The reason why Haji Wright's no higher is because I still think he's a rather inconsistent player. He can go through periods where he just can't put the ball in the back of the net, and this is a real problem. For example, I remember that draw a couple of weeks ago against Oxford, where Haji Wright really should have scored in that game, and he failed to, and it cost his side in that one. If Haji Wright could play consistently at his best week in, week out, then we're definitely looking at probably the best striker in the championship, and a striker that could potentially be Prem ready. My concerns with Haji Wright is the consistency, and that would definitely concern me if I'm a Cov fan going up with Haji Wright as the striker next season. And I feel like Cov would definitely have to go into the market and buy at least one striker that could start ahead of Haji Wright. So then we're on to 2nd place, and I've gone with Ollie McBurney. He's been outstanding in the championship so far this season, and he's just a very good championship striker. He's scored 14 goals and he's got 6 assists so far, and he just offers so much up front for that whole side. A crucial reason why Hull are having such a good season. I really like Ollie McBurney at this level. Could he step up to the Premier League? Possibly. I would probably still say probably not, based off his previous record in the Premier League not being that good. He's only managed to score 6 goals in 2 separate seasons. That's it. So he hasn't really been that prolific in the Premier League. But maybe in a better side, then Ollie McBurney may be able to excel in the Premier League. I would like to see it happen, to see could he potentially do this? Could he potentially start in the Premier League for maybe a slightly better side that comes up next season, or maybe a side that's already in the Premier League? What's been so impressive about McBurney is also that injury. He's still so high on the top goal scorer race. And for number 1, I've gone with the championship top goal scorer this season, and that is Vopotnik. Vopotnik's been incredible so far this season. I feel like I had to put him number 1. I was considering McBurney, but then you look at Vopotnik's record so far, 18 goals, 2 assists in 38 games. And what impressed me about him so much is his goal per 90 is also higher than McBurney. Vopotnik's goal per 90s is 0.66 and McBurney is 0.62. So that was the other thing that sways me. The other thing is that Vopotnik's doing this in a poor Swansea side. Hull would still be alright without McBurney. They wouldn't be doing this well, but they would still be able to manage this. Without Vopotnik, then it's pretty likely, I think, that Swansea could be going down this season, or definitely being a lot closer to that relegation zone. So that's why I have selected Vopotnik, but I would understand McBurney, because I do think there is an argument that maybe McBurney offers a bit more up front than a Vopotnik, because McBurney's got 6 assists so far this season, and he's been really important for them. And the other thing was that you could argue McBurney's shown he's a better striker throughout the years, and Vopotnik hasn't shown this, because I haven't really seen any of Vopotnik apart from last season, where he was nowhere near as good as this season. but I couldn't ignore being the top goal scorer in that Swansea side. Let me know your thoughts on this ranking. Who do you think could take the step up to the Premier League? In those strikers, the three I think that could potentially take the step up now is maybe Carlton Morris, because he's done it in the past, Ollie McBurney with the form he's in, and Vopotnik would probably be the three. Had you right, I'm right about the consistency. I'd rather be like a Joel Perreault of this season, where he was the top goal scorer of the Championship, but he's been nowhere near good enough in the Premier League. And I think that's because he's quite streaky in terms of his goals, sort of going on runs, but then failing for sort of 10 games, which he can't afford in the Premier League. And that's very similar to a Hadji Wright. And as I already said, I think someone like a Richard Kone and an Ivanovic could definitely be in the Premier League in the future. And if you enjoyed this video, guys, subscribe to the channel as well as liking the video.